He speaks in the meeting and nobody reacts. 10 minutes later, someone else repeats the same point, maybe with slightly cleaner wording, and now heads start nodding. The manager writes it down. It becomes a strong direction. Suddenly, the room is treating the idea like it just appeared. If you've worked long enough, you've seen this happen. Maybe to you. Maybe so often that you started wondering if the problem was your communication, your confidence, your personality, your face, your title, your timing. You tell yourself you need to be sharper, more assertive, more polished. But that's not the full story, because in most companies, being taken seriously is not a reward for being right. It's not even mainly a reward for being smart. It's a perception outcome produced by statusist signals, organizational memory, and risk calculations happening around you in real time. And the dangerous part is this. While you think people are evaluating your words, they may already be evaluating your weight, your place in the hierarchy, your perceived reliability, your history, your level of political safety. So when people don't take you seriously, it often feels personal. But structurally, it's usually systemic. If you want to stop getting blindsided by workplace systems nobody explains, subscribe. Most people believe that if you do good work, speak clearly, and stay professional, people will eventually take you seriously. That belief sounds fair. It also gets a lot of employees trapped. Because companies are not clean merit systems, they are interpretation systems. And in interpretation systems, your value is not just what you do. It's what other people can safely believe about you. That changes everything. A manager does not just hear your suggestion. They process it through invisible filters. How often have you been right before? Are you seen as stable or emotional? Strategic or reactive? Senior enough to carry influence? Politically safe to align with? Easy to dismiss without cost? Most employees think seriousness is earned by competence. In reality, seriousness is assigned by collective perception. And once that perception hardens, it starts controlling outcomes. That's why some people can say very little and still command attention. Their words arrive with institutional weight. Other people bring better ideas, better analysis, even better instincts, and still struggle to be heard. Not because the room is blind. Because the room is reading signals you were never taught to manage. Most people never see is that every company has an internal reputation market. Not an official one. Nothing written down. But it's there. People trade impressions about you in fragments, in hallway comments, in private Slack messages, in performance calibration meetings, in one-on-ones after you leave the room. Smart but not mature. Good worker, not leadership material. A bit intense. Not very polished with stakeholders. Reliable but not strategic. That language matters more than employees realize. Because by the time you're in a room trying to be taken seriously, the room may already have a narrative for you. And narratives are powerful. They change how your tone is heard, how your confidence is interpreted, how your mistakes are remembered, and how much patience people give you when your delivery isn't perfect. From the outside, it looks normal. Structurally, it isn't. The meeting is not just a place where ideas are evaluated. It's a stage where pre-existing status gets confirmed. This is why one person gets seen as direct, while another gets labeled difficult for the same behavior. One person is detail-oriented, another is too tactical, one is executive presence, another is trying too hard. Same behavior, different interpretation, and interpretation follows status. There's another hidden mechanism here, risk. Managers do not reward seriousness evenly because taking someone seriously is a form of endorsement. It means attaching your attention, your credibility, sometimes your own reputation, to what that person is saying. So when a manager ignores someone, they are not always rejecting the content. Sometimes they are avoiding the risk of elevating someone yet been socially cleared by the system. What he didn't know was that the room wasn't asking, is this idea good? The room was asking, is this person safe to validate? That is a very different question. And it explains why people are competent still get sidelined. They may be useful but not yet sanctioned, capable but not yet framed as credible. They have output but not authority. What makes this harder to see is that companies rarely tell you this directly. They hide it behind soft language. You'll hear things like, you need to build more presence. You should work on communication. Stakeholder management is important. You're doing great, but perception matters. That sounds vague because it is vague. Vague language gives the system room to preserve discretion. If they told you the real issue, it would sound much colder. It would sound like this. People have not attached enough status to your identity yet, so your words are being discounted before they are judged. That's the second layer. The problem is not just that people underestimate you. The problem is that once an organization assigns you a low-weight identity, Your attempts to correct it can actually reinforce it. Try too hard to prove yourself and you look insecure. Speak more forcefully and you look abrasive. Stay quiet and you confirm passivity. Work harder and you become the dependable executor, not the serious voice. Complain about being overlooked and now you sound politically naive. The signal was there. You just didn't know it was a signal. This is why many employees get stuck in a strange loop. The less seriously they're taken, the more effort they pour into being useful. And the more useful they become, the more the system locks them into labor rather than influence. Useful is not the same as respected. In many companies, usefulness gets consumed. Seriousness gets protected, and over time that gap creates invisible consequences. You get invited in late after decisions are already leaning one direction. You're asked for execution, not judgment. You become the person's problems but doesn't define priorities. Your salary grows slower because strategic weight is valued differently from operational effort. Promotions drift away because leadership is not just about doing more. It's about being interpreted as someone whose view changes direction. This is where careers quietly flatten, not through dramatic failure, through accumulated underestimation. You stay employed. You stay busy, you even get praised. But the praise is for being reliable, responsive, hardworking, committed. Notice what's missing. Influential, trusted at higher levels, commercially sharp, organizationally important. A lot of people think disrespect at work looks loud. Sometimes it does. But often it looks like this. People are nice to you, appreciative of you, and still do not attach decision-making weight to you. That is the corporate version of being invisible in plain sight. So how do you fix it? Not by becoming louder, not by performing fake confidence, and not by hoping your work will eventually speak for itself. Work rarely speaks for itself inside a company. Other people speak for your work. That is the game. The fix starts when you stop treating seriousness like an emotional issue and start treating it like a signal architecture problem. You need to understand what the organization uses as proof, not what it says it values, what it actually rewards. Does seriousness come from proximity to senior leaders, from owning revenue, from being calm under pressure, from speaking in concise, low-friction language, from being associated with high-status projects, from having visible supporters, from showing judgment, not just effort? In most companies, people are taken seriously when three things align: competence, clarity, and status validation. Competence alone is not enough. Plenty of competent people are ignored. Clarity matters because people trust what feels organized. But status validation is what converts your words into weight. That means if nobody credible reinforces your value, your ideas may keep floating without landing. So the real fix is partly behavioral, partly structural. Speak earlier, not after the room has settled. Reduce explanation. High-status communication is usually cleaner, not longer. Stop presenting every idea like a request for permission. Attach your points to business risk, money, timing, or decision impact. Build visible alignment with people whose credibility already travels. Choose fewer battles and make your hits cleaner. And most importantly, stop overinvesting in being liked when the real issue is being weighted. Because people do not take you seriously just because they enjoy you. They take you seriously when the system starts associating you with judgment, usefulness at the right altitude, and low political risk. That shift usually happens before the promotion, before the title, before the recognition. Which means if you wait for formal authority to become credible, you are already late. You have to become legible to the system before the system rewards you. That is the reframe most employees miss. This is not about becoming fake. It's about understanding that organizations are constantly assigning importance, and if you do not shape the signals around your name, other people will do it for you. And once they do, you may spend years arguing with a reputation you never consciously built. So if people don't take you seriously, don't just ask, "How do I prove myself?" Ask a colder question. What has this system already decided I am? Because that answer is usually sitting underneath the meeting, underneath the feedback, underneath the silence. And until you change that layer, more effort will only feed the wrong identity. At work, respect is rarely withheld by accident. It is usually rationed according to signal, status, and safety. If you do not manage those signals, the organization will assign your weight for you. And once your weight is assigned, every word you speak has to climb uphill.